Good evening. At this time, we'll call our regular monthly meeting of the Hamlet City Council to order. Our first order of business is an invocation tonight, and it's by Pastor Steve Cruz of the Hamlet Church of God of Prophecy. Pastor Cruz.
Mayor, City Council, it's good to be with you this evening. Let us pray. Our Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day that you have given us. We thank you for your many blessings upon us. We thank you for your keeping power. We ask you now to watch over us and care for us. We thank you that your word instructs us that you depart wisdom to men. We ask you now for that wisdom for our city council, that you'll just endure them with power and understanding, that they may do the very best for our city. We pray your blessings upon this place that we call home, Hamlet. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Pastor Cruz, and we graciously appreciate what you and the church do for the community here. Council, you have before you tonight the agenda for tonight's meeting. What are your wishes?
Move to approve.
Okay, have a motion to adopt.
Second.
Have a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those likewise. Okay. Also, before you have minutes from the April the 11th and May 9th regular meetings, and the minutes from the April the 11th closed session. What are your wishes on those?
Approve as presented.
A motion to approve.
Second.
Any changes or additions, deletions to those? If not, all in favor say aye. All opposed likewise. Thank you. At this time, we come to the point in the meeting where we have comments from attendees. If there's anyone here tonight who has something they wish to talk to us about that's not on the agenda, we would ask you to come forward at this time and speak to us. If not, we will close the comments to attendees and we'll move on to new business. Item number 6 is public hearing for our fiscal year 2017-2018 budget. Do you have a copy of that to put up, Jack, just of the budget ordinance and look at it? At this time, the public hearing is open. Okay, that's good. Okay, at this time, our public hearing on the budget is open. If there's anyone that has any comments on this budget, we are open to listen to them at this time. Does anyone on council have comments?
The only thing I was gonna ask, on the Depot Museum, the $142,000, is anything from public buildings as far as maintenance on the depot down there? Is that in public buildings or is it all in depot museums? So everything
It would be
that
depot
is
museums.
everything,
Mr. Brewer.
salary,
The
all.
142,000 is everything, maintenance, salaries, everything for the museum and depot.
Okay.
Utilities, everything.
Okay.
Does anyone else have any comments at this time? If not, we'll close the public hearing. Move on to item number 7, which is the adoption of the fiscal year 2017-18 budget ordinance. Council, what are your wishes?
I'll make a motion that we adopt the ordinance, the proposed 2017-18 budget as presented.
I have a motion. I have a second. Are there any comments, changes, deletions, additions, comments from anyone on it? If not, all in favor say aye. Opposed likewise.
No.
I have 2 no votes. All right. It's 3-2, so the motion carries. Next item of business, item number 8, adoption of a resolution for the 2017-04 fee schedules for fiscal year 2017-2018. And you have a copy of that before you, council. Is there any discussion on that at this time about the fees?
I don't have any major problem. At some point, I think we need to have a fee for a league. Jonathan's crowd playing soccer, and whereas if you follow the rules, it would be $250 per
Yeah.
event.
Do you know what we pay for the league to play? Okay.
No, I have no idea, but I meant,
Always a good question to ask first. So with that, the league paid $1,000, and the league was built in hopes to give a scholarship to one boy and one girl at the high school. We cut the grass, we lined the field, we took the trash off and did all that, so there was no cost to the city for anything down there at the field for that.
Okay, you're talking about league for which
It
sport?
was an adult
Instead-
soccer league that brought,
if you followed this, you'd pay $250 per event. I believe it's what it is.
yeah,
Yeah, I see that.
the
Yeah,
events were set up for fun days and people
Right,
using.
I understand that,
Yeah.
but to give
And it
league,
was set
to
up
give a
uh,
league type thing, somebody coming in and doing what y'all are doing, there ought to be a flat fee that's not,
and so it's set up separate
you know,
rather than
if you had
250
eight,
per event.
yes, if you had 8 events, you wouldn't
Yeah.
expect them to pay $2,000 or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
And-
Not for a
and,
good cause and bringing people to the city, because
Right,
that's what we're here
right.
to
So
do.
that, just for some, next time or down the road, try to come up with some
Okay.
fee that would cover a league, so they could rent it for the stretch that wasn't interfering with our events. That was all.
And if it's agreeable, we can amend the fee schedule to be $1,000 if that's a fee that council's comfortable with. I believe that's what Mr. Bowie had done this year with the
Yeah, that's-
adult soccer
that's,
league. It was 1,000.
The director for the organization, that's what he kind of, worked out with Maurice to
Sounds high.
just basically say,
All right, we can go ahead and add that in at this time if you'd like to, council.
yeah. And it is high if you're doing your
If
own
you're doing all
setup.
that work, yeah.
But we did it just in good faith of, hey, it's helping two parties out. It's helping the city, and it's helping, one boy, one girl going off to college, so.
Okay, so we'll put that under Parks and Recreation's facilities rental fee?
Don't you think it'd be a good idea to check around with local, other towns to see what their schedule are, rather than just,
We can.
arbitrarily-
$1,000 is an
I'm
arbitrary
not
figure.
trying to get
I
at-
think he was just saying maybe a fee, but I mean,
Yeah, some kind of,
I mean, it could be that somebody's,
If you
Lawn
follow,
burger.
if you follow the letter of the law,
yeah.
then what's written there, he would have to pay $250 per event, which
Right.
if he had 6 events or whatever, 6
oh, I
events.
agree with you.
And
but I
that's,
mean,
really, we need to look at this event stuff anyway, because this,
You might get us
what
off.
type of event? If you got something that's actually, like you may have a fun day like they had Saturday, okay? A Melvin Ingram fun day. Was that for anyone in the city of Hamlet, or was that for, a particular group of people? Who was that for? And so that's an event that's bringing in and attracting people for just that specific group, or is an event that's bringing in people to support local things around the town. So there's different events, and I've never really liked the fee schedule, and we only set it up because I think there were some people down using the fields and stuff that they were just using the field. So we really need to put a
Well, sometimes you have,
definition to event.
sometimes you have a paid, for somebody wanting to use the field for
Yeah.
a paid event, and that ought to be addressed differently from, so
Um,
it's a work in progress. but-
was it? It was one of the private schools, Temple Christian. They were using. That's one of the things that brought up the South Hamlet deal, was Temple Christian was using it as their league for soccer. Well, obviously the city of Hamlet was cutting the grass, lining the fields, and doing all that stuff. So, and then I think turning on the lights when they played later on and all that. So that was one of the things that brought it on as well. But it would be nice if we could break this up into, what do you consider, is it like a community type event, or is it a private type event?
So would council like to adopt the fee schedule as is, and in the July amend the fee schedule to reflect a league fee?
work on it.
Comparable to-
It might
Yeah,
take
It can be
I
a
would-
work in progress.
Yeah, I would say table the parks and rec facility fees until we can look at what would be the best thing to do.
All right, so you wanna make a motion, on this?
you can just leave it as is for the moment.
Until we can look at
I
it.
mean,
Yeah,
if
we
somebody
can-
can't.
We can amend it.
I don't have a problem with to me, with the $250, somebody's coming in here for a one-time event. I'm just looking
Yeah.
after your league
As a-
purposes down the road.
Right.
And also, if you're keeping up the field and lining the field, there's ought to be a different fee schedule for a league,
Or anybody.
yeah. So I know that's getting to be more difficult, but
Yeah.
check around. But I don't,
All right. So I'll
I'd say just
second.
go
I'll
as
second,
is.
his motion to go as is, and then we can obviously change it if,
Amend
Okay, so I've got a motion from David, is that correct?
motion from David
Accept it
to
as is.
accept as is.
Second from Jonathan. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor say aye. Opposed likewise. Thank you. The next item of business that we have is a presentation by Mrs. Kim Lindsay from Seaboard Festival to discuss the construction of and donation of a stage. And you are there.
You
Thank
covered
you.
it for me, thank you. And we're done. That's it. Good evening, Council, Mr. Mayor. I am Kim Lindsay of the Seaboard Festival Day Incorporated. The Seaboard Festival has been a part of the Hamlet landscape for 4 years. We are about to have our 35th in October. Now, truly, we could not make the Seaboard Festival happen without the city shop. Thank you, Billy. Thank you, Calvin. Thank you, Scott. You guys give us your all on Seaboard Day. We do not receive a financial contribution from the city of Hamlet to put on the Seaboard. All of our money is derived from our entry fees from our vendors. In the last 9 years, Seaboard Festival has donated more than $50,000 back to the community. Tonight, Seaboard Festival would like to present to you a proposal to build a permanent stage across the street on the old A&P site. What we would like to do is build a shelter that is a brick foundation with a metal frame. We would cover it with vinyl siding so that it was attractive. It would be approximately 20 feet deep and 30 feet long with a 9-foot ceiling, 2 feet up off the ground with a handicap accessible ramp. We would be using a licensed contractor to perform this construction project. Seaboard Festival Day would take all financial responsibility for building this stage. We would also take all responsibility for the construction project itself. We would be willing to work with the city manager to pick out materials and make sure that it's as aesthetically pleasing to you as absolutely possible. The only thing the city would ask, Seaboard Festival would ask the city is that once a year on Seaboard weekend, you make sure it's available for us. Up until that point, we would like to build it, pay for it, and then give it back to you to use as you see fit. Maybe it could be rented out to people like we do the Rotunda. Maybe people could use it for free to have an event. We are going to install lights, so it would be an evening activity. We think that this multi-use shelter with lights and everything would be a tremendous asset to downtown Hamlet, bringing people in all times of the day or night to see performances. We think it'd be an incredible asset, and we'd like to gift it back to the city after we build it. What we need is your permission to build this on your property. Now, we did something like this a number of years ago with the Seaboard Storage Building at the Waste Treatment Plant. We, the Seaboard Festival, wrote grant paperwork, got a grant, and the former city manager gave us permission to build our building on your property. We have a little bit stored there, you have a lot stored there, but we still share the space, and it's been a wonderful partnership for 10 years. It's worked out well. So what we would like tonight is your permission to erect this stage on your property. We realize that if you ever decide to build something on that property, our stage may have to go. And we're willing to accept that responsibility that we could lose that stage 10, 15, 20 years down the road if you decide to build something.
Quick question.
I'm ready for you.
You said 20 feet in depth, 30 feet long, 9-foot ceilings, brick foundation.
We'll be using a metal structure frame because we are in the primary fire district, so we can't have a wooden
Just
Okay.
building.
make like a-
So the entire frame would be a metal frame, and we'd be wrapping it with vinyl to take away that ugly metalness.
Okay. You really, I mean, honestly, I don't know the feelings of everybody else, but you had me at the fact of you're building it and turning it over to the city for
And paying
whatever
for
we
it.
wish to do once it's given to us, and then the fact that your Seaboard Festival Committee is okay with, hey, if we sell the land in 5 years, 10 years, 3 years, whatever, and it would be a nice place to have events and stuff for downtown.
Yes.
And an awesome place for our Seaboard Festival
Entertainment,
bands
yes,
that come in there,
absolutely.
so.
I like the idea of it. I think it'll be aesthetically pleasing to the city, and I believe I can see a lot of different issues, different ways it can be used.
Yeah, lot of
Yeah. Isn't this something that maybe the city attorney ought to draw up some type of contractual agreement with the city and the Seaboard Festival Committee? Because
And thank you, Mr. Martin. I was actually waiting for a chance to raise that. I think you all, if you want, can approve it in principle tonight. I can draft something, let the manager and Ms. Lindsay or the members of your committee review it, and then we can bring it back for final approval, or you can just authorize Jonathan to execute it once we're okay with the terms. Particularly, I think it's important that we have in writing somewhere that the Seaboard Festival gets it guaranteed for, you know, the run of your festival.
Last weekend
And then
of,
also after, I don't know if it's after a certain number of years or how you want to do it, that in theory the city could tear it down. I don't see that happening in the future, but I also don't want them to, you know, 15 or 20 years from now say, hey, wait a second, you can't tear it down. So yes, I would suggest we do that.
yeah, it needs to be in writing. Now, we got a little bit of a problem, seemed like to me. The church is right next door. Now, is that gonna, I know that there's no alcohol on city property, but what if you rent it to a private entity, and they want to have a party there, and the church is over here? I mean, is there going to be a conflict with the church being right there beside the property?
I
And-
think the city would be the one that made the decision whether or not let them use it at that particular time, don't you?
Well, I would think so, but we better have something that says no alcohol or something.
Well, and I'm going to plead ignorance on that. I think what I need to do is talk with Jonathan and our Seaboard Committee and maybe Gail and find out what restrictions are for alcohol use.
don't allow any alcohol.
Don't
I
allow
don't
any
think on the
alcohol.
city, but if we rented it to a party, to a wedding reception
Well,
festival,
Still can't have alcohol.
well, you better have it in writing or they'll have it.
And that's what I was going to say. I think we need to determine if there's already a policy in place, and if there's not, then we need to come up with one.
Right.
Is it-
Gail tells them when they come in to get a permit, no alcohol. Is
But you
it?
can have alcohol at the depot.
We're at the depot, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's
What's the
city
difference
property.
between the depot and this
What's
place?
the difference?
Whoa, hold on a minute, stop. Everybody stop. Ms. Strickland, come up.
come on, Gail.
Thank you.
When the rotunda is rented, when the rotunda is rented, people are allowed to
Right,
have
we know that.
alcohol if they have their permits.
Right, well, I knew about that. That's inside the building down there at the rotunda, right?
Correct.
Not outside. Thank you. Clarified that. All right, where are we? Go ahead.
If there's no questions, I mean, I'll make a motion to approve this pending the agreement between
Mhm.
the Seaboard Festival Committee and the City of Hamlet. I think that's all we.
Okay. Mr. Morphus?
One quick question. If we bring this back in July, does that give your group enough lead time to build it? I don't want to, you know, say approved in July and y'all say we need to start next week or something like that.
Well, I'd love to start next week, but
Mhm.
the purpose for getting this approval process started this month is that we want to seek out some grant funds.
Okay.
We are actually willing to offer a large contributor the opportunity to have their name on the stage, brought to you by blank blank. So we want to start our grant process now, and I don't want to start the grant process out without being able to say, I have the city's blessing, so.
I don't have any
I'd-
problems.
Ideally, I'd like to start this project, the first week of August at the absolute latest.
I think that'd be fine. Because my only concern, I mean, I think Jonathan and I could come up with language, but I'd like you all to be able to review it. So
That's
bring
fine.
it back in July after you've had a chance to review it. And
The actual,
something together.
the actual building, I don't think anybody has a problem. That's an event.
That's
uh,
right.
To work into the event thing of, which would be a different issue. Seaboard's not gonna have alcohol. You know, again, trying to move forward. I'm not, I understand what he's trying to say, but that would be worked out to me at a later date. And I
Well-
think one courtesy, if we ever get into a fee schedule, the Seaboard, if they had another event, they ought to be free.
Oh, yeah. I think we can go ahead and approve this tonight, and then we can approve the agreement next month. So that would let you go ahead and get started. So I do have a motion from,
Well, the only thing I would like to see is like
Okay.
maybe a written proposal of what it's gonna be. Not saying that what you said is
Where's
not,
that
do we
picture?
have that?
Where's the
yeah,
picture?
just got it.
And what we can do, Mr. McQueen, we can have an appendix A with,
I mean,
with the concept drawing on
Yeah.
there or
I
something.
mean, I understand what you're saying, and I believe everything you said, but still, I think we,
I don't have it.
I'm not talking about now, I'm just talking about.
Well, I
Yeah.
have one. I
before
We
just-
will.
Yeah, before we actually
Someone-
say, yeah, do it.
20 by 30 and.
Yeah,
Yeah. No,
My
whatever
project
it is.
manager didn't bring it.
Whoa, wait a minute.
Well, that's okay. We can all look at it later.
But, yeah, I mean,
today.
it's. sound like a
I
good
will
thing to me.
scan it and
Yeah.
email it to everyone. It's a
I think it's gonna
relatively
be,
crude
I think it's
drawing.
gonna be a plus for the city. But I do have a motion from, Mr. Bowie to accept the proposal. I have a second. Any further comments on it? If not, all in favor say aye. Opposed likewise. You got it. Thank you
Thanks,
so
sirs.
much.
Ma'am.
I'll get you a draft document next week. It's gonna be like 2 pages.
Oh, yeah.
Just to have it.
Sure.
Well, you wanna know what,
Hadn't been right.
yeah, you wanna know the size and how the construction, yeah, sure.
Okay, at this time, we'll move along to item number 9, City Manager's Report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Things continue to go well here over the past month here at City Hall. Soccer sign-ups are underway here at City Hall. Advertisements and announcements have been posted on the city's website and the Facebook page. Applications are also available online and here in person at City Hall. Registration is open for 4 to 12-year-olds between June 1st and July 21st at a rate of $35 per child, and during late registration on July 24th through July 28th for $45 a child. So we'd love to have everybody come out and register the kids for soccer. Be proud to have them. We're also looking forward this month in July to the city's annual Downtown 4th of July event on Tuesday, July 4th from 6 to 10 p.m. There will be food, fun, and fireworks and being presented by M&M Fireworks. So come on out and enjoy a great time celebrating Independence Day with all of us here at the city. And also be reminded that residential fireworks are prohibited by law for citizens. The city will be closed on Tuesday, July 4th in observance of Independence Day. Also, trash pickup for residents who usually have their garbage collected on Tuesday will be delayed until Wednesday. Residents who have their garbage collected on Wednesday and Thursday will experience no delays in July. The downtown farmers market continues to go well, and we would love to have everyone come out on Thursdays throughout the summer from 4 to 8 p.m. To enjoy fresh produce, desserts, and a food truck in Hamlet's Main Street Park across from the depot. We're also glad to have Christine Carroll here tonight from the Richmond Daily Journal. Yesterday was her first day on the job, and we're certainly looking forward to working with her over the next, in the future, and certainly glad to have her here tonight. I have nothing further. Mr. Mayor, the only question that I have for council is whether we wish to plan a work session prior to the July 2017 City Council meeting.
Council?
What for?
I'm all in favor of it.
I think we need the work sessions to,
Well, every one we've had, we've been rushing to get out after, in an hour.
And I'll see you upon my return to America, so y'all can do whatever you like that month.
I mean, what's the work session for? I mean, we got something to,
Well, there's always,
I know we've got things to talk about, but I mean, is there something on the agenda that we need to talk about, or would be on the agenda, or?
I don't mind the work sessions if we're doing like budget stuff, but I think anything else needs to be in the open meeting. I mean, I've always felt like that.
that's an open meeting.
Well, I mean, an open meeting is televised, not televised, and, I mean, I don't want it to be the public.
I guess I just don't know how you plan and prep and do things without a work session. I mean, here you have an agenda and a schedule you're following. Where do you come up with ideas and thinking about the future and what we can be doing and tossing out ideas?
Do it right here.
How do you put that on an agenda without talking and
How you
planning?
gonna put it on that agenda?
You sit and talk and plan and come up with
Do
ideas.
it right here. I mean, that's my take on it. I mean, if you have it, I'll come.
Okay.
I just soon do it in an open meeting. I know that meeting's open, but in a normal televised meeting.
I think, if we do it, I do agree that we need to have something before us saying what we're gonna be discussing during that particular time. Doesn't matter what it is, but, you know, we can, and also we can go over for the agenda for the evening if we do. Just show of hands, just for an agreement, how many people would like to have one the next,
I think so.
one?
I think so.
Okay, two?
I don't have a say in it, I won't be here.
He's
Okay.
gone.
Okay, I've only got two at this time, so, we'll just see if something comes up, we'll try to schedule something. Anybody have anything else for the city manager?
I saw the soccer sign-up sign, I guess, out in the flower bed. Is that something maybe we could have another one made up that would say soccer sign-ups, baseball sign-ups, and then, you know, Hamlet City Hall or something,
Sure,
to where we can put it on maybe city property outside of just Main Street?
sure,
I know it
absolutely.
sounds crazy, but you'd really be surprised at the people that do not see it on Facebook. They do not see it in the
Mhm.
paper. They just don't.
Sure, I'll be
Just
glad to
a
look
lot
on
of
that.
busy people, and they're working, and I get it because I don't ever
Mhm.
see the Journal hardly, and I very rarely get on Facebook anymore and look at anything because I'm just busy. So maybe have sign, and it may not work for soccer this season, but the next, like for football coming up and all that, we can maybe get signs and place them in some different areas that's city property, and maybe some residential people wouldn't mind putting a sign in their yard. So
Sure, we'll be glad to look at that, Mr. Bowie. And I know that Maurice went to the schools before schools were, school
yeah.
was let out
and the
to
kids,
try to
they-
spread the word.
They
But
don't-
from
they
May
don't tell their
to
parents
July, a lot can
anything.
happen. Sure.
Anything else for the
No,
manager?
that's all. I was just.
Okay, we'll move along to comments of council. Mr. Lindsay?
Just want to pass on, as he did the farmer's market's been wonderful, been eating Thursday night dinner down there. So, come down, join us. Good produce is picking up. Stephanie's done a great job with it. Talk about work sessions and all. I still have concerns that the money that's coming from the timber sales is going into the general fund, and we're not doing anything. We need to talk about how to utilize this for our water plant and our sewer plant, or how we're gonna get possibly $250,000. We're also getting ready to pay off the sewer plant in a couple of years, and now's the time to start planning to see if we can get another loan or a grant and upgrade that. So there's a lot of work needs to be done on that. That is a main part of our future for this town, is the water and the sewer. So we do need to keep pushing forward on that and working towards improving them. Sign up, if anybody wants to run for city councils, July 7th through the 21st, noon to noon. July 7th, noon to July 21st, noon. So if you're running or someone want to run, that's when you sign up. That's it.
Plan on putting that on the agenda for next month to have a discussion about that timber money.
Sure.
That's a good point, very good point.
And we had discussed this and researched it a little further since May, and the best course of action going forward that I would recommend would be passing an ordinance saying that the money that we receive from the timber sales be set aside for the utilization for the water and wastewater treatment plants. And I have began drafting a draft of that ordinance, so we can discuss that in July if that's council's wishes.
We need to discuss it.
Sure.
That's good. Thank you, Mr. Lindsay.
Does a Wooten group or somebody like that come in and look at, I know the COG did a thing of our water and sewer plant, but I wouldn't call them, I guess, experts in looking for funding or.
They'll come, but you're gonna spend
We're gonna
about
pay for it.
Okay.
double-digit thousands.
There were some issues that were
I'm
researched.
just asking the,
We'd be
Yeah.
better off to take the money we're gonna spend on doing that and just upgrading some stuff
We'll
that we know
talk
has to
about
be
it.
upgraded.
Yeah, we'll discuss it. That'll be fine.
And we do have the plan from the COG with the asset management plan that was conducted a few
I-
months ago that we can use as a guide for where we want to go
Wooten
forward.
plans from several years
Yeah.
ago, if you go back and look, because we
Yeah.
did have Wooten Group do a study down at the sewer plant and the water plant, I believe.
Yeah, they are.
Mr. McQueen?
Don't have anything.
Mr. Martin?
I don't have anything.
Okay, Ms. Maskey?
Yes, I've got something. I feel the need to clarify my position on a few things. I agree that we have great employees, and it's wonderful that we have very low turnover in the city. However, the citizens pay for the services they receive. It was stated that if your garbage is picked up and you have water, it's because of city employees. I would go a step further and say it is also because you paid for these services. Without the citizens, we would not have a town. The city employees would not have a job, and there would be no need for a council. I think we all need to remember that. And there was a list of equipment that was given off as being for the citizens, and I disagree with that. I think the citizens purchased those items with their tax dollars for the city employees to use. And as a Rotarian for 20 years, and someone who has volunteered at both the parade and the festival, I also feel the need to state that the city does not put on the Christmas parade or the Seaboard Festival for the citizens. The Hamlet Rotary Club has sponsored, planned, and organized the parade for many years. The Friends of Hamlet organization plans and sponsors it now. And I want to give that credit where it is due. The countless volunteers that work hard on both of these events for the city and the citizens. Thank you for your time and energy to make these events great.
That it? Okay. Thank you. Mr. Bowie?
I don't have anything. Like I said, I hope everybody has a safe and happy 4th. I hate I'm gonna miss the meeting next month, but I had like a scheduled trip that my daughter wanted to do for a long time, so we planned that back in December of last year, and so unfortunately I won't be here. But I do hope, again, everyone has an enjoyable time. They put on an awesome event down there. The fireworks have been amazing. Year over year, they just get better and better and better. Yes, it costs money, but I think just to hit on what she just said, I mean, it takes money, it takes volunteers, it takes people to do the things we do here in Hamlet. There's been a lot of upsetting comments I've heard over the past few weeks between, well, let's just say that we're one county, and I think everybody needs to remember that. We need to start kind of taking down the wall of separation and looking at it as, you know, I feel like we're getting somewhere every once in a while, but then it's like a wall pops back up. But I really wish, and I really hoped when I came on to City Council 5.5 years ago, that maybe we could begin to see the change and work together as one county. But and we're still getting there. And I hope to soon get past that. But so the rumors, you know, I've had some people and, you know, citizens of Hamlet come to me, and some other people come to me, and they're hearing some of the stuff too. So I don't really need to say what I heard. If you want to talk about it, I'll talk to you on the side about it, but I'm not want to get on camera like some people and slam other places or people. So if you hear the rumors, just know, look, we just got to push past the rumors, push past the talking, and let's work together as one. That's what's going to keep this community, because regardless, without one, you won't have the other. No matter where you live or who you favor, or who's, you know, in a leading role, it's shocking some of the things that's occurred over the past several weeks, and it really, really frustrates me. So if you want to talk about it, I'm free after this, and I'm free any other day. You can call me and ask me exactly what I'm talking about if you're confused. If you've heard the rumor, then just know we'll get past some of the rumors between the combative stuff going on. That's all I got. I know that was a little out there, but some people know what I'm talking about. So,
Thank you, Mr. Bowie.
without going in depth.
Well, I just want to say we've got a great city. And the city would not run without the volunteers that we have. It would not run without the Seaboard Committee. It would not run without the Friends of Hamlet. It would not run without any of the organizations, the Rotarians, the Lions Club, any of them that come in and put on the things that go on in Hamlet. So we're a busy city. We have a lot of things going. We've got, not only do we have the museum downtown here, but we also have National Railroad Museum Hall of Fame. that's just doing a terrific job over there. If you haven't been to their store to grab, you ought to go over there and check it out. They've got a lot of good things in there. But it is, the city basically runs on it, but the employees we've got, we could not ask for any better employees. They just do a fantastic job, and that's appreciated. Ms. Carroll, we're glad to have you with us. Good to see you here. Always welcome. Again, I hope everybody has a fantastic 4th of July. I'll be downtown that evening and enjoy those fireworks that we have. So other than that, thank you so much. Appreciate it. And at this time, council, item number 12, I'd ask for a motion to go into closed session per General Statutes 143-318-11A, 3, 5, and 6 for attorney-client privilege, contract negotiation, and personnel.
So moved to go into closed session.
I have a motion.
Second.
I have a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed likewise. Thank you. This time we've returned to open session. At this time I'd ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Got a motion?
Second.
Got a second? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
We stand adjourned.